Yo, what's up everybody, this is Ryan. This is probably one of the videos you'll see on the main Ryan channel. Today, we are starting this new series where I'll generally be sitting down and talking about some stuff regarding my origin of doing YouTube and how importantly how Lego and Funko Pops have affected where I am today. In this series, we'll also be talking about various topics regarding Funko Pops, regarding Lego, and I thought I'd switch it up a bit from what I usually do in my real content back on my main channel. For example, one of the videos that is coming up, I'll be talking about my most expensive Funko Pops that I have in the collection. Or, secondly, what Pops I think could increase in value. Or just in general, what some Pops do I think I personally enjoy. A lot of these is going to be coming right up on this video series. Today's video is going to more likely be an intro of what is to come. And we're mainly just going to start nice and slow. We're going to talk about essentially what I did back in my youth that has started to generate and climb towards my interest in doing social media regarding Lego and eventually switching to Funko Pops. As much as a lot of people don't like to admit it, it is no shame to, own toys, collect toys. There's no shame in that. For any of you watching who also love to collect Pokemon cards or whatever you collect, doesn't matter, it's your hobby. And my personal hobby growing up was first building with Lego. Lego played a huge part in my life. And the first thing I want to start off by showing you guys is this. So, this is a buildable action figure, and this character's name is called XT4. So literally the letter X, the letter T, and the number 4. That is the character's name. Where this character is from, he is this 4-armed robot character from this Lego series that is no longer continuing today, called Lego Hero Factory. And Lego Hero Factory was this Lego theme that it's very different from the normal Lego brick that you normally see. In this line, they have this thing called the CCBS, which stands for the Character Creature Building System. And they developed this building system. They have these bone-like structured pieces and armor-like pieces that you snap together with ball sockets. So they click, 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 they slap together perfectly just like a normal Lego brick would, compared to the predecessors of these guys, which is Bionico. Now, Bionico was a lot more bigger back then. A lot of OG Lego people would remember Bionico. So the Bionico pieces back then were a lot more fragile and kind of uncustomizable because a lot of the pieces were exclusively for this feature, for this character. So there was a lot of limitations. And what they eliminated with this new building system is that there is so much flexibility for movement and for customization, most importantly. That's why they're able to whip up designs like this compared to what you normally see with a huge action figure. This figure means a lot because this figure was the very first time I picked up a camera in the studio. Well, it was more like my room, and I kind of filmed it on a shelf. This was the very first time I actually tried to film a video on Lego. And the thing is, I have watched a lot of Lego YouTubers, especially this guy called Jangbricks, who started off by reviewing these Hero Factory action figures, and I got really hooked by them, and I thought these were really cool. And obviously when I was little, I had to rely on my parents to buy me stuff, so of course I would try to beg them at the toy stores to buy these Hero Factory figures, which obviously I have some, including this one, my very first one. And then later on, in 2020, when I'm a lot more older, and I ended up collecting everything, all the other Hero Factory figures. But we'll get into that in another video, not today's video. So this figure means a lot because not only does this figure mark as my very first my very first Lego action figure, but this also marks as the very first time I actually started doing videos. I was very nervous filming the video for this figure. I was quiet. I didn't know how camera angles work, so I was just hand holding the camera this entire time. It was a great learning experience, that's for sure. I was very nervous. I didn't know what to do. But up to this day, many years later, here I am. Still never gave up this figure. It is still here. I've ripped it apart several times, and now I've rebuilt it. So yeah, this figure means a lot because this prompted me to understand how do we do videos, how do we do Lego videos, and I will be talking about more of Hero Factory specifically compared to other LEGO themes later on in this series. But this is the seed that grew into the tree I am standing in now.
Hey, it's Ryan here, but oh please don't start commenting. Please don't start commenting. I certainly don't want you to, okay? Okay, this is not a review, but I myself will clarify with you for a new organization I'm gonna do Lego reviews. How many of you like Lego? I'm sure all of you do. Yes, I'm sure you do. So, because you guys like reviews, I'm gonna do like a lot of Lego reviews since you love Lego that much.
So then later on, I started doing more and more Lego videos. After that, I got some more Hero Factory sets, but for a couple years, I found that fun. I didn't post these videos publicly. I would burn these clips onto DVDs, which obviously is like a boomer item now these days. So I would take these clips and I would import them onto DVDs, which no one would see. So essentially, these are for myself. But it's important, even though I didn't start on social media. It started my interest in just doing videos. I found it fun because it kind of keeps a record of memories. Whenever I buy stuff these days, I also like to remember them for the experience that came with it. So today if I went to buy a bowl of cereal, I will remember the time I walked into that Walmart and walked into that aisle and picked that cereal off the shelf, saw it was a great price, and checked out. As useless as it sounds, I like to think when you buy stuff, the experience that comes with it is great. Making videos adds to it because it kind of keeps that record. So the second thing I want to show you guys is this. This is the Reaper from the video game Overwatch, and most recently Overwatch 2 just came out. So for those of you gamers out there, you may know this. This is Reaper from that game, and this is the Funko Pop of him. And this is important. Just like that XT4 figure was my very first Lego video that I ever did. It wasn't my first Lego set, but it was my very first video. This marks my very first Funko Pop. When I first started Funko Pops, this was back in 2018. I didn't care much about it. I didn't even know what these were. I took a break from Lego for about 2-3 years, so there was just a 2-3 year gap where I just wasn't collecting anything and I was just being myself. I think that was because video games was a thing, so I was very hooked into that. But eventually I came back to Lego back in 2018 because, you know, it's my childhood. I can't leave it. But at the same time, Funko Pops were starting to grow. I think Funko Pops have been here for like a long time, but this is when I actually started looking at it. I was like, oh, what is this? A Funko Pop? Oh, I know this character. I play this character. I remember I picked this up at a Walmart, but it didn't really mean much back then. Soon after, a couple years later, this is when I was in grade 10, and we had this thing where we had to do a bunch of internships. We had a week where we just had to be in like an actual professional workspace, and we just work. Where I worked, I was at this furniture store in downtown Vancouver. I worked there for 4 days before on the 5th day we would go back to school and make a whole presentation of our experience. But me being me, I like to stop by other places on the way. That was when I really started to get a little bit more into Funko Pops, mainly because Marvel was big back then. This was the year where Avengers Endgame was coming out, so the hype was getting real. So I saw these at a local GameStop, which no longer exists now. It has been ripped apart. I saw these. I was like, wait, Avengers Endgame is coming out. Maybe I should buy these. So these are like gold characters. Like, so this is Spider-Man, but it's like completely in gold. And then for this one is Black Panther, and Black Panther 2 is coming out, so that's sick. But these pops don't value a lot on the market. But the only reason I still keep these and haven't sold it already is simply because these kind of prompted me into wanting to take some interest in Funko Pops. I started giving Funko Pops a little more attention. I was like, yeah, it's like, you know what? It would be nice to have a couple of these things sitting on the shelf. But it wasn't until 2021, last year, that I actually started taking Funko Pops seriously, and it became the new norm for me, and I just started collecting Funko Pops and grew the collection, and I started converting the channel into my main channel into a Funko Pop video. Funko Pop, not really necessarily dedicated, but the majority of my content now is focused on Funko Pops. So what I'm saying is, I started from somewhere. Like, I could easily just do another of those unboxing videos where I show off what Funko Pops I purchased. But I wanted to try something different. I would rather share a little bit more stories about my origins. So I started with Lego, as I always have been in my childhood. In 2017 is when I created the main channel, and it was on accident. I started the channel by accident. So what happened was, I was playing this video game called Star Wars Battlefront, and it was one of the very first ones, and I did some clips. I was like, I didn't know you could record some footage of video games. But I was like, what's the share button? So I was like, what is a share button? And then I just randomly clicked a few buttons, and unknowingly, I had linked my YouTube account to my PlayStation when I set it up. My PlayStation, when I got the console, I set it up. I linked everything so I could play, and little did I know those clips were uploading to what is now my main channel. And then a couple days later, I got some comments on my laptop, and it's like, yo, this is great, this is a cool video. I was like, what? This is a cool video? What? Wait, what? And then I checked my account and look at my YouTube page, and I was like, wait a second, I uploaded some videos. Oh no. I actually considered taking them down, but I thought about it. I was like, you know what? This could be fun. Maybe this is the time where I actually do YouTube, because actually, with all my video making hobbies, maybe it's time I make them public and share them to the world, and that's exactly what happened. So that's really the main takeaway I have for today's video. It's kind of a slow, kind of mediocre one where I'm just barely showing off anything. So I will give you the teaser for the next video. The next video, I will be showing off all my Hero Factory sets. Again, you don't know what Lego Hero Factory is. It is It is the successor to Lego Bionicle. It is just it's a Lego dedicated action figure theme with all buildable action figures. And I want to share it because all these things, as childish as they seem to some of you, this is part of my legacy. This is part of my history. So I'm going to be here to share that, but soon after I will also be showing off a little bit of Funko Pop stuff, where I'll be talking about a bunch of stuff about my interests, what I think is this, why did I get these pops when I don't even know what they are, and all that. So a lot to come up for now. So that's it for this week's video. Hope you guys find it intriguing, and be sure to check out other videos. I will certainly be checking out other people's stuff. I look forward to see what they do, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Bye for now.